You probably clicked on this video because you want to know the reason why you yourself and many other people can't seem to consistently win their games. I'm going to be explaining the common mistakes that Siege players make that causes them to lose their games, and will also be going into 3 pro players videos and showing their strategies. The first pro player that we will be talking about is Atheno, but before we get into that, I want to talk about the common mistakes that Siege players make that causes their losing games. And number one will definitely be solo queuing and not going into game chat. Siege is needed for coordinated and organized team play. And when you don't go into game chat and nobody speaks, nobody talks to each other, you kind of just have to guess what your team is doing and hope pretty much that they do well. But in order to improve yourself in a solo queue position where you can't communicate, you have to inspect and see your surroundings. Alright, you have to see where your teammates are going, how many people are roaming, what operators they chose. You know, if most of them are kind of playing frag operators, try to play support. If they're playing support, try to just play frag operators and just see like the type of player you are. If you are a support player, then try to play support. But unfortunately, if your randoms are playing too much support, then you just have to make the decision on yourself to just go frag operator. And I feel like for solo queue, defender will probably be better because you can easily see where your team is going, how they're holding sight, while attacking will definitely be more like just difficult because you have to specifically see where you gotta push from, but you don't know what the opponents are unless you drone, and your randoms may be the type to just aggressively push and die instantly, but we're hoping that they can coordinate. You know, the most you can do in solo queuing, just seeing where your teammates are, your placement, your operator choices, and just watching time. Right, you have to do everything on your own when you solo queue. The number 2 common mistake is when you are in a stack, you don't really have, like, how do I say this? So you have comms probably, but that only helps to a certain extent. This means that you're only communicating what's happening in game. Alright, you guys don't have a pre-planned organization. For example, like pro players, they have a organized plan. They have their 5 players on a team. Each player has their own unique skills and specialties. So they play operators that go into those specific categories. And it also depends on the maps. Most likely your 5 stack, or maybe even like trio stack, doesn't even have a coordinated plan. You guys just hop on whatever operator you guys tell each other to or that you guys enjoy. But if you want to win, alright, that's the biggest thing about this video. If you want to win, you really have to stay organized, communicate before game, communicate during game, which most people do. If you're in a stack, you're probably communicating, alright? You're probably having comms. There just needs to be a little bit more than that. Just organization in the team. You guys have to see where you guys are placing yourselves, and unlike solo queue where you kind of just have to decide that on your own terms and see where your team is going, you have to place yourself in a position. But in a trio stack, 5 stack, however many people you're stacking with, you can decide who wants to go roam, for example, as defender, where you want to place yourself. And if you're attacking, which is better for sure in a stack, you can tell your team if you want to push together, if you want to try to flank the opponents, distract them. You can decide on that. That'll definitely help you have a plan at least to have a higher chance in winning. Now, we'll get into the Atheno's aspect and his strategies that makes him a pro player and can help you too. As you saw from Athena's gameplay that I showed, a little 2-minute clip, that was his first round of him in a solo queue game, by the way. In this video particularly, he is trying to educate his viewers on map placement. And doing this in solo queue is honestly more beneficial to the viewers, because it shows how even in a solo queue environment, you can place yourself in a good position where your randoms cannot, really do anything. You don't have an effect on those randoms, like I said before. You gotta decide on your own, and as you can see here, he places himself in a good position. He droned out that big window, he ran in, killed the operator that he heard and saw, and right now it's a 2v3. He sees that nobody's in sight, so he pushes in sight, takes control. That's what you got to do in map placement and your player's position. You got to take control. If the defenders lack, you gain. He heard the defender right at the bomb, so he eliminated the player. Now it turned into a 2v3 into a 2v2. Since nobody's at sight, he knows that. He knows that he only has to hold sight and just watch the doors. He's taking control while his teammate, his random, is just, playing above, doing whatever. He's trying to see, he grabs the diffuser because he doesn't have it. And then he goes, finds the player, the defender, eliminates them. Now it's a 1v1. He has sight completely to himself, so he decides to plant, which is, obviously the best move. Most people should be doing this, but some people try to, go out, get kills, try to get that 4-piece or ace or whatever. They're bloodthirsty for that. He's going for the win. This is what the video is about, going for the win, map placement. He planted and holds an angle where he knows the defender is coming from, and wins the round. The next pro player is going to be Bolo, which is a very known pro player for his insane skills. Alright, for sure, insane skills. Here's his channel, all the videos he posts. Again, y'all can view these 3 pro players I will show you, the channels, and go in even more depth and actually watch their whole video, their whole games, see how they play, which pro player kind of specialty suits you. If they're more of a fragger or support pro, you know what I mean, just to kind of get you more information and knowledge in the game. Alright, I'm just gonna put my own commentary and my thoughts. Alright, I am a Emerald player, peak diamond, but currently I'm Emerald 2, and it's just my opinion. Myself included, I have to watch these pro players to get better and better. That's what I want to do in Siege, improve obviously. I want to have fun, but improve, alright? But besides that, in this game, in this video, Bolo tries to show Brava's playstyle, and let me just explain it. So their operator specialty, alright, this is the main point for showing Bolo's strategy. He shows how to play Brava efficiently, and as you can see, he plays Brava for her gadget, obviously, which everyone should do. If you use an operator, use their gadget. He does that efficiently, drones out where he's going to push, gets all the gadgets so it's clear for him, drones out with a regular drone so he can see where his opponents are to see if he can push properly, safely, which he does. Use one of his gadgets to throw into the Rooney gate so he can safely pass through. Looks at his drones, see nobody's near, makes sure, and goes in, rushes in. He's gonna gain what they lack. Alright, they lack to hold sight, so he ran in just like that, and now he's holding sight for his team, holding the door for his teammate, gets to plant, and back to the operator thing, as you guys can, keep watching his gameplay, see how he plays. The operator, which is obvious, alright? The operator aspect, if you use an operator, use their gadget, which he shows Bravo's specialty, For the Bravo players out there, perfect for you to watch this part. But I'm just kind of showing the all around of what you should do with an operator, maximize their gadgets, maximize the operator to your advantage, If you want to have a higher chance to win, maximize their gadget. And what I mean by this is people that like to go for frag operators, for example, like maybe Buck, Ash, which is very common, they go for kills, which is good to a certain extent though. You need to use the operator's gadgets, operator specialties, alright? For Ash, she is a good frag operator for her speed and for her gadget, but you need to use her ability, not just to open a barricade necessarily, to just rush in without droning and just, most likely die. You have to usually drone out, alright? Unless you can hear sound cues, obviously, see your surroundings, or if your teammates already pushed the area. Just try to use your gadget to maximize your operator. For Ash, try to expose sight with their explosions, or bring breach charges to have extra. Expose sight for your team and for yourself. Expose operators. If you hear a defender, expose them with your Ash charge, open up the wall, try to bait, or even look through the breach hole and kill them. That's what you need to do, and that's what Bolo did. Maximize Bravo's specialty, used her drones, used the default drones to see his surroundings, use the Bravo drones to clear his push where he's pushing from, get the gadget so it doesn't go in his way, and decrease the chance of him actually pushing properly, getting kills, and succeeding. Doesn't decrease the chance of that, it increases it. He used his gadgets and bam, just like that. Bolo with his high sense, obviously, he is a pro player, but you can take how he plays, you can take his operator usage and use that in game. The last pro player that we'll be looking at is Spoit, very commonly known because he is a #1 champ in a lot of seasons. He's very consistent, has a lot of videos put up, as you guys could see on his channel. And in this video that he's making, it's a tier list actually, not really a pro strategy like it says in the title, but this is more informational, for a lot of people. For new players, maybe this could affect their influence to, buy operators, as they're gaining renown, they can see who to buy first, prioritize. While for people who already have every op or most operators here in the game, you can just, change maybe your play style, maybe reconsider what operators you should play from now on. Because as this video title once again says, this is to improve your way of winning games, and maybe one of the reasons why you can't win your Siege games as often as you would like to is maybe your operator that you're playing as. Spoit, who is a very long-term player in Siege, has been playing for a long time, and this video I think was uploaded 2 months ago, so after the new season that Daniels came out, maybe his opinions have changed, or maybe like for example the zombie nerf, maybe his opinion could change, but Zombie's still a very strong operator. This is his tier list. You can just look through it, see how to change up your play style, see which operator will better fit you, alright? This is just very informational. Honestly, to me, some operators I thought would be better actually wasn't, in his opinion, Don't take all 100% of his opinion, but, definitely consider it. This will increase your chance of winning. For example, honestly, I didn't expect Rook to be an a F tier operator, I do use them a bit, which does win me games. But you know, if I notice that I am losing more and more games while playing Rook, maybe that's why. You know, Sport opinion was right. I will change maybe to a better operator. And as you can see, mainly the defenders were more higher tier. That's just how the game works. Like, defender is just a better side on Siege. Most maps are defender sided, so that's how it works, you know. And that will be sports perspective. Hopefully that gives you some knowledge on what operators to play, what operators your team, you know, should consider, as I explained in the, I think, first and second from Bolo and Atheno, to kind of organize your team. You guys can see the high tiers. Obviously you want to play those high tier operators, S, A, B tier operators. See which operators are of your play style and choose those operators, organize your team. That's what you need to do. Okay, to recap everything that I discussed, the number 1 and 2 common mistakes that players make that could affect their losses and potential wins that they could have gotten is their solo queue without game chat and without any coordination. You just play the game, don't even think about pre-organized plans. And the number 2 mistake is not organizing your stack. If you are in one, you don't organize anything. And to recap on Atheno's perspective of map placement, alright, you have to take control, gain what the defenders or maybe even attackers lack. If they lack attackers, play safe. If you're an attacker yourself, if they lack control at site, take site, gain site. In Bolo's perspective, with this operator specialty, maximize your operator that you choose, maximize the gadget usage, maximize your default gadgets, you know, your drone, your claymores, your breach charges, stuff like that. Maximize that to your full potential in order to just progress into the game and increase your chances of winning that round, that game. And if your teammates die, maybe try to clutch it up. And to sports perspective, with this tier list that was more informational, you guys can take considerations and take his opinion on what operators to play to increase your chances. You know, maybe if the operators that you play as were in the lower tiers of sports tier list, maybe his opinion was correct. Maybe choose your mains or your sometime played operators, change that into a higher tier, you know, experience it. If it does improve and increases your games, you know, and your wins, then I guess it worked, you know. Good for you guys. That's my main point of the video, to just try to put not only my opinion and these 3 pro players' opinions, but to provide information to increase your chances of winning. Alright, you bloody samurais, thank you guys for listening to this whole video. If you guys made it this far, I really hope this benefited you guys in your games. I really hope this is more informational, expands your knowledge on Siege overall. Please give a like, subscribe, and leave down a comment on maybe more tips that I should provide to you guys to help even more of an audience.